Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Big Akar Ahmed, and welcome to today's video. Today, we're going to be talking about Lucifer. I was going to make a short video. I did watch a couple videos on the Church of Satan and like Satanism and things like that. Just kind of understand them a little more. I really don't think it matters much. I found this video that is awesome. I started watching the first couple of minutes of it, and I was like, I need to really react and show my audience this. It is a little how do I say this? It's a little offsetting to look at in a way, but I mean, like, if you are looking at it for the content that it is, this man named Ivan the Evangelicus has created an interview style with Satan, where he's asking Satan these questions and he's kind of interviewing him. But this man does religious content, so it's not from a standpoint of something like creepy or anything like that. It really shows you what the devil's doing to the world today and everything that's happening. So we're going to hop right into it and we're going to see what's up. I really need everyone to see. This is amazing. This is an amazing video.
Whew. Whoa. Lucifer.
One sec. Let me move myself here. Let me put myself down here. Oops. All right.
In the flesh. Do you know how many journalists would kill? Wait, you probably do. First, I want to say thank you to agreeing to this interview, because I know you are a very busy person.
Yes. I usually like to fly under the radar. But I figured, since I'm already on the campaign trail, why not?
Okay. First, let's talk about your reign. Now, you've had a fairly long one. What would you attribute to your success and popularity?
Oh, that's easy. Every generation is the same. I appeal to their lust and ego. I offer all the sex, wealth, and fame a person could want. Do as thou wilt has been my campaign slogan from the start. And my campaign platform hasn't changed either. I run on the same three issues every generation: lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, and pride of life.
Okay. When you say lust of the flesh, what exactly do you mean?
Come on now. What do I mean? Isn't it obvious? I just use humans' own innate physical desires against them. And since sexual desire seems to be the most powerful, I usually run with that. Now, I didn't create sex, but I must say I've done a superb job at perverting it. Take pornography, for example. Well, you should know a lot about this one, Ivan. Weren't you addicted to porn?
This interview is about you, not about me. Can we get back on subject?
Now, where was I? Oh, yeah. What I do is gradually get someone addicted to porn. And once lust has had its full work and he and she can no longer restrain themselves, they usually look to act out their fantasies on someone. And sometimes that someone is a child. Now, my plan plays out perfectly. That abused child will eventually turn to a life of promiscuity and perversion themselves, allowing me to continue my vicious cycle. And here's the kicker. Many of those abused girls end up right in the porn industry. Now, how's that for irony?
So, if you guys haven't gotten the vibe yet, he's basically interviewing Satan, and Satan is telling us what his plan is and kind of what he does and what he does in our world. But the reason this is really cool, in my opinion, is it's kind of giving you a first-person, like, it's giving you a first-person idea on why Satan actually does this and how he does it, right? And I think he did a very well job with this video. Now, can some parts be whatever? Yes. But when it comes down to it, what he's saying is amazing. He's explaining how he's always gotten humans and how he utilizes lust and how he utilizes our desires to get to us, because he knows what we want and what we desire. So I'm gonna let this keep playing, and we're gonna keep rocking.
The second thing you had mentioned, I believe, you said lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes. Can you elaborate?
Humans are never satisfied. You always crave more. Bigger house, bigger car, more money, more power. The list goes on and on. I just take their natural ambitious desire, pervert it, and use it against them for their own destruction. My plan is to allow them to never be content. As long as I can keep them craving what others have, I can depend on them to argue, fight, even kill to get it. Humans are so easily tricked into jealousy. And you know what they say. Jealousy is as cruel as the grave.
Yes, I have heard that before. The last thing you had mentioned was, I believe, pride of life. Now, how does this fit into your campaign platform?
Humans are always on a quest for knowledge. I tricked the first humans to seek carnal knowledge over godly wisdom, and it's worked like a charm every generation since. With more knowledge comes more pride, and you know pride is my specialty. And since humans don't like to keep God in their wisdom, I'm able to seduce them with all types of things to help puff up their ego.
100%. This is beautiful, and this is why I made this channel, and this is why I preach God, and I try to get God into your guys' lives, even if you're atheist, if you're Christian, if you're Muslim, if you're whatever. I want God in your life because Satan is feeding you so much information. He's feeding you so much through these portals, these phones, and these computers, that you feel like you know so much. You feel so egotistical. You feel like, I know this, I know this, I know this, I saw this, I know this, and you believe it all. It's crazy the world we live in today. And then we have no wisdom of God. We have nothing godly. We don't know any of the rules. We don't follow any of any of the commandments, any of these things. We just pass it on a daily life and chase our desires. We chase the money, we chase the fame, we chase the this, we chase the that. And it's disgusting. And then we inflate our egos and we think, oh, I'm this. But you're literally a piece of crap at the end of the day. We're all pieces of shit. We have no God in us. We don't worship the creator that created us. We just steer away from it. We worship ourselves. And then we want to act like we're some big thing. Oops, almost went flying back. Oh my God. And we want to act like we're some big thing. No, this is exactly the mindset of Satan. I'm better than you, God. You're not going to tell me to bow to Adam. I'm going to do what I want. Same thing with the human being is, oh, God, you're not going to tell me what to do. I'm going to go chase this money. I'm going to go chase this bag. I'm going to chase that girl. You know what I'm saying? And this is exactly what Satan's saying right here.
Lately, fame has been my biggest seller. Who doesn't like attention and feeling more important than the next person? Once I make them famous, I can really use them to promote my agenda. With their help, I've convinced half of the world to not only accept sin, but to celebrate it. Do you know what has been my most enjoyable pride campaign to date?
No, what?
Well, my gay pride campaign, of course. Not only do I get the chance to promote your own self-destruction, I get to use God's logo, the rainbow, to do it. Love is love, right?
There's nothing I love more than rainbows and colors. As gay as that sounds, I freaking love rainbows. I love colors. Like, look at my mic. Everything that I do is just like, it's colors and rainbow. I have tie-dye shoes, and I love colorful clothing. I love colors. I think colors are beautiful. Like, God has given me eyes to see all these beautiful different colors come together. I love rainbows and colors. And this whole gay pride thing has just ruined it for me. I can't go out of the house wearing multicolors without someone thinking I'm gay or supporting gay people. It's really weird that I can't even like the color blue, green, and yellow together anymore because I become gay or tranny, or I become a Zayzem, depending on the colors that I put together. I thought those were country flags. When you put three colors together, I thought it was a country flag. Now it tells you what your sexuality is and what you enjoy.
Right? My plan not only prevents you worthless humans from reproducing, it distorts the gender roles and allow me to bring all types of chaos
and no hate to gay people at all way, shape, or form. You're gay, you're gay. That's the test that God gave you. God's giving you some temptation. You need to figure that out for yourself. Everyone's test is different. Everyone's life is different. Now, as far as the gay community goes, this is becoming a very, 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 very big problem, like he just said. 1 second.
It distorts the gender roles and allow me to bring all types of chaos and conflict. It distorts the gender. My plan not only prevents you worthless humans from reproducing.
The reproduction. Yeah, there we go. If you're gay or lesbian, you cannot reproduce. Do you understand that? Yes, I understand you could adopt a child. Forget that. But like he's going to say next, okay, even you adopt a child, that child is not even growing up with a proper mom and a proper dad. They're growing up with two different gender roles. Now, you want to use the excuse, oh, people have sex and just leave their babies. Okay, well, without them having sex or being straight to begin with, there would be no babies. There would be no reproduction. You couldn't be gay if your parents didn't have straight intercourse. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if your parents weren't straight, then you can't even be alive to be gay. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when it comes down to it, this being gay, the whole world, this promotion of being gay, more people becoming gay, this is not a good thing. Especially if it's not something where like you're mentally like you can't control it. You know, there's the people who go, I'm born this way. They're born like they chemically off balance, or they're born with both body parts, or they're born, you know, this happens, bro. This happens. People grow up and they have the instinctive nature of the same sex. It happens. This is their test. This is their temptation. People grow up with no arms and legs. That's their test. They have temptations. That's how life works. God gives us different tests, different things. But the problem is everyone that's becoming gay or becoming bi or becoming any of this, they've been straight for 18 years of their life, 15, 16 years of their life. And then they start asking themselves at 15, am I gay? You don't have to ask yourself if you're gay. You don't have to ask yourself if you're bi. You don't have to ask yourself any of that. The fact that you have to ask yourself what you are means that something else is controlling you and something else is thinking for you. And that would be this man right here. Not this man, but this entity that we call Satan.
It distorts the gender roles and allow me to bring all types of chaos and confusion upon your pathetic societies. It's been so successful, I've got men convinced they're women, and women convinced they're men, and some convinced they're no gender at all. And I've got 2 more Pride Initiative campaigns I'd like to introduce in the near future.
Really? I'm guessing you probably want me to ask you what they are, right?
Well, first, it's abortion pride. Now, I think we can pull this off. Society is definitely ready for it. I've enlisted to help a Planned Parenthood to work with marketing and promotions. It all.
I want to pause it for a second. I want to check the upload date here. 5 years ago, April 13, 2018 was the upload date.
We'll have to do is silence the so-called abolitionists.
I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of things he's saying make a lot more sense now than they did 5 years ago.
Pro-lifers, because the rest of the church doesn't seem to care. And second is pedophilia pride. Now, society might not be ready for this one just yet, so we'll hold off. I need to desensitize them a little more before we introduce it.
Okay.
Desensitize them a little more, a.k.a. get rid of the old generation like our parents and bring in the new generation who are already dysfunctional and can't figure out if they're straight or gay. By the age of 16, they're questioning what they are, if they're even a boy or a girl. We're going to take that generation and we're going to tell them that it's okay to have sex with little kids. That's what we're going to do. And it's not time yet, but when we condition the younger kids to be even stupider than the older generation, then we'll trick them into more destruction.
Okay. Let's change gears for a minute and talk about policy. Some may consider your policies destructive, dangerous even. What would be your response to that? What would you say to your detractors?
All of my policies are aimed to do one of 3 things: either steal, kill, or destroy. And if it's not doing one or all 3 of those things, then it's not in my agenda, and I'm not promoting it.
Okay. I'm happy you said that. It seems as if you promote your agenda differently to different ethnicities. If so, why?
Of course, I'd be a fool not to. Take black people, for instance. As a people, they're super spiritual, so I can't really convince them that there is no God.
What he just says is awesome, because he's talking about how like black people, they're super spiritual, they're super soulful, and that makes sense. They're one with nature, they're one with the earth. Black people over the last 100, 200 years, especially in the Western world, have been going through a lot of hardships and pressures, and they've gone through slavery. And when you go through things like this, it steers your physical body, it forces your spirit back to God, because you realize that my slave master is nothing when God exists. I'm gonna get through this, and God's gonna take care of me. Do you understand? So what he's saying is amazing right now, and this is what he said about black people is actually 100% right. Black people are a lot more soulful, a lot more interconnected with their spirit than a lot of other races, just naturally, because of what they've gone through.
What I have been able to do as of late is convince him that he's not the God of the Bible. Now, I've been real successful at promoting black consciousness and Islam in their communities.
I'm so happy you mentioned black people. It seems as if we've been at the very top.
I like how you use Islam as a demonic thing, which is okay. I don't have a problem with it. This is Ivan the evangelist, but if he's out to get Islam and he thinks Islam is the devil, that's more than fine. I'm okay with that. If he actually studies Islam and he studies his own religion, he's going to see that that's not the case, that Islam actually teaches Christianity actually more rapidly and actually sticks to it. So all of his problems that he's having right here, where he's saying like the church isn't doing anything and this and that, the devil's able to get in these people's minds, Islam fixes that. It does. Like none of that is happening within Muslim communities. Do you understand what I'm saying? None of that's happening within like super Christian communities either. But it's very hard to find a super Christian community. It like just doesn't exist anywhere. Where like your average Muslim, you could find some really good Muslim communities where you're not gonna find any of that garbage. It's just not gonna happen. For instance, go to Dearborn, Michigan. All of that stuff is getting filed out. They're all voting to get all of this garbage out. You want to talk about a city? You want to talk about a state that has a majority of Muslims and things like that? Go to Dearborn. Go look at the demorality, the sexuality, the drug problems. Go look at it. They are less. They're less. And then you go four feet over into Detroit, and it gets worse. Yes, I know Dearborn, Michigan is not the greatest place on the earth. Michigan in general is not the greatest place on earth. Detroit is a poverty-stricken area. But what I'm saying is, if you compare where the Muslims are living in Detroit and you compare all of the other cultures and people in that area, the Muslim people seem to have it down to a T. They're not doing all of the criminal activities and Satan things that the other communities are doing in the Detroit area. And no, I'm not saying black people. And no, I'm not saying white people. And no, I'm not saying Arabs. I'm saying Muslim people, if you're black, white, Arab, in the Detroit area, tend to not get into those things like the other majority of people do get into those things. So if you want to blame Islam, Islam has helped more black people in poverty-stricken areas who are being enticed by the devil, who are single mothers, who are baby daddies and all of these things. These people need Islam more than anything. They're not getting anything by going to church every Sunday with their grandma. It's not working. They need structure.
Of your agenda for quite some time. Why is that?
A few reasons. Black people help me reach the masses. Now, as you know, I was over music in heaven. My beats were so dope, I got over a third of the angels to follow me. And once I got here to the earth, I needed artists and entertainers to help me promote my message here. Who better than black people? Black people possess all the natural rhythm and music ability that I need. And it's easy for me to influence them with money since so many of them grew up without.
Do you see how at the bottom of his screen, like, I don't know if you're paying attention, at the bottom of his screen, it keeps saying things about Muslims and how the imams are trying to help develop a one world religion initiative in London and all of these things. He's super scared of Islam. He's more scared of Islam than he's scared of the devil. He really thinks Islam is the devil. And that's fine. I don't have a problem with people's belief systems and what they think. But it's because he doesn't know much about it. And I know this. He's super Christian. And he sees that the Christian world is falling apart. And the Christian world falling apart, a lot of Christian people are turning to Islam. Especially in the black community. Especially in these areas. So when he sees this, it hurts him. And he thinks Islam is actually the enemy. If the people are turning to Islam, then that must be the devil. If they're running there. You get what I'm saying? But the people who turn to Islam completely do the opposite. When they convert to Islam from Christianity, they literally run away from all of this. That's why they're converting. They're converting to get away from everything that they were exposed to before. And before they were a Christian. So it's not like, yes, there is an agenda to push Islam? Yes. Do the multi-billion-dollar world leaders want to push Islam and utilize that fundamental message to control the masses? Yes. Do they want to use Islam like they use Christianity to control your mind and then distort the image and then make all of the commandments and everything about Islam and break it down and so people stop fasting and people stop praying and people stop doing this? Hey, let's convert an extra billion people who know nothing about the religion into Islam and then make it look like no one's praying, no one's fasting, everyone's drinking, and then the religion will just over time die out slowly. It's not happening like that, okay? So don't think because Islam is going to be forced. It's going to be forced 100%. Islam is going to be forced by the media like crazy. They're going to try to mass convert people to the religion of Islam, and not for the right reasons, to destroy it from the inside out. That is why they want to mass convert. They do not want to mass convert people for the goodness of the world. They want to mass convert people to destroy Islam and destroy the message of God. Islam is the only message that people actually are still taking serious today and really following to a T, where it's keeping them out and away from the devil. Praying 5 times a day, fasting, constantly giving to charity, going on pilgrimage, having no idols, no imagery, worshiping God and God alone. If you live your life in this way, how are you going to be affected by the devil? This is why people convert to Islam to begin with. So now, if you're going to spread it at a worldwide rate, that's going to make some sense. But that stuff at the bottom, I just kind of wanted to clear it up. And what he keeps saying about Islam, and he's kind of like slipping it in there, I just want to kind of clear that up, not just for him, but for my audience, to really understand, like, you can't just run around and say, this is the problem. Because as he's saying and as he's showing you, is Satan uses 1,000 different tactics, depending on who you are, what your race is, what your religion is, what you like to do, who you are. And he uses different tactics and different things to get inside your head and get to you. Now, Satan might use Islam on the Christian guy or the Jewish guy to drive him even crazier, or to make him sin, or to make him do something. You get what I'm saying? So it just really depends. Now, I don't know about all this anti-Islam stuff this guy is promoting, but it doesn't really bother me because he has his own belief system and whatnot, and it's out of ignorance.
Doubt it.
And I don't think he's hating on Islam out of like an ignorant place of like hate. I think he's hating it out of an ignorant place of like, I see so many people going to it and running away to it. And I really love my religion and I really love Christianity. And it's sad to see people running away from Christianity. If people are running away from Christ, then they must be going to the devil.
Another reason I target black people is because they're strong mentally and physically. If black men were to ever find their identity in Christ, I'd be in trouble. So I try my best to destroy the black family structure and keep black men away from his family and the church. Drugs and incarceration are a couple of my more popular means. Without the head of the household present, I can become the head and influence the children without too much resistance.
So you mean to tell me that your policies are intentionally racist against black people?
Racist? This has got to be the best law I've ever come up with. Now, I can't believe that humans still believe they're different races. But to answer your question, yes. It has always been my policy to target and isolate a group of people. And out of all my strategies, this skin color thing has worked the best. I definitely want to keep white people and black people separated. As long as I can keep black people bitter and white people offended, I'm good. Hopefully black people will never forgive. That way I can continue to use them.
Okay, my question
They'll never forgive, so I can continue to use them. Yep.
is, what role, if any, does your
As
ministry...
with anyone and anything on earth. Guys, 99.999% of anything that happens to you in your life, even if it's the most crazy thing that happens to you, it's not worth it. Forgive and move the freak on. Learn from your experience, forgive and move on.
administration play in this black on black crime epidemic?
Well, as great as my administration is, we can't take all the credit for this. Black people help us tremendously.
Look at the bottom. Israel begins negotiations with the Palestinian Authority to rebuild the third temple on Temple Mount. Oh my gosh, this is 5 years ago. Now look. Now they're just going to forcefully take it and rebuild the temple.
By aborting so many of their babies, they allow us to bring death to their communities. As the Bible says, they sow the wind and reap a whirlwind.
When implementing all of these policies, do you ever face any resistance or pushback? And if so, from who?
One group in particular try to oppose every policy I try to implement. I would be so much further along in my agenda if it wasn't for them.
Really? So what group is that?
Those pesky, born-again Jesus followers. They're a real thorn in my side. Every generation, they come together and try to dismantle one of my signature policies. Now, I've convinced half of the world that Jesus didn't exist and the other half that he wasn't divine. But I can't seem to convince them. They seem hell-bent on telling everybody about him and spreading his message. And some of them believe he's coming to unseat me in this generation. Crazy, huh? I tell you, those idiots are really messing with my legacy.
So Lucifer, how did...
The devil knows a lot more about Jesus than any of us. He was around. He was there. He was aware of what was happening, and he's aware of how to counteract and do the opposite of what Jesus did when Jesus was gone. And like he said, he made the world believe he didn't even exist. He made the world believe that Jesus didn't work miracles or had no divinity, right? And as Muslims, we don't believe Jesus is divine. We believe he's a prophet, like every other prophet. Moses wasn't divine, but he split the sea, right? It was God that split the sea. So we believe the same thing about Jesus. Jesus' miracles were worked through God, and so forth. But yeah, what he's saying is 100% right. Anyone that just preaches Jesus' goodness, it doesn't even matter if you're, like I'm telling you, it doesn't even matter if you're Christian, Muslim, Jewish. I don't even care if you're atheist. If you get someone to stop worshiping themselves or worshiping something and go to a higher power, find a higher purpose, go to Jesus, go to God, and start doing things for their own self-benefit. I'm talking about their soul, not their body. They don't want money and fame and girls. I'm talking about someone who prays, someone who fasts, someone who starts doing these things to connect to a higher power, to connect spiritually to their spirit and to God. When they do something like that, it changes everything. The devil cringes. The devil cannot stand it. He cannot stand it. There's strong people, and he works double time to get to that person. He works double time to get to that person. Every single time that I feel strong and I feel empowered, my temptations are tripled. They quadruple. The amount of things that I get put through is insane. Sometimes I go through a week or 2 weeks of just straight getting beat up by the universe.
How does that make you feel when us idiots say that Jesus possibly could be coming back in this generation to unseat you?
Y'all been saying that for centuries. I just use it as motivation to get as much of my agenda pushed through and deceive as many people as possible before he returns. I think I've done pretty well. My record speaks for itself. About 150,000 people die each day, and most of them don't know Jesus.
150,000 people. Whew. Well, you know what? This concludes our interview. I want to say thank you for open, honest, pretty frank discussion with me. Is there any last words you would like to leave with our viewing audience?
Yes. I'd like to take this moment and give a special thank you to two groups of people. First, I want to say thank you to all my followers. You are the hands and feet of my administration, and we could do nothing without you. Keep up the good work, spread my message. And second, I'd like to say thank you to the divided church. I love the way you argue and use your passions to fight amongst each other. Keep up the good work. There's really no rush to tell people about Jesus. You all have plenty of time.
So how it ended, right there. He went ahead and said, "You got plenty of time. Don't rush." He's letting you know that you literally have zero time. Your time is very, very limited, and you should worship God. You need to worship God. You need to turn to God. Because the devil wants you to think you have all the time in the world. You can do whatever you want. You can do this. You can do this. And then God's just going to save you at the end of the day. That's why I always say I have the problem with not necessarily Christianity, but Christians who believe that Jesus just died for their sins. They can run around. They can do whatever they want. They can walk where they want, talk where they want, say what they want, eat what they want, sleep where they want, and Jesus died for their sins. This concept, right, where what the devil just said, like, yeah, just think like that, and you have enough time. You're gonna end up in a very bad place because you don't really know Jesus. You're not connecting to Jesus. You're more connected to the devil than Jesus any day. If you're going out every weekend and drinking and partying and doing drugs and having sex, you're more connected to the devil than Jesus. Like, Jesus died for you to go do all of that and continue to do it, and then you repent and you continue to do it. He didn't die for you to do all of that. He didn't die for you to continuously sin until you die and then throw you in heaven. And then the guy who listened his whole life is like, screw that guy. No. But what the devil is saying is 100% true. This is what he was put out to do. This is what he wants. He wants to deceive as many human beings until the end of time. He told God, please God, spare me until judgment day. When you will judge those human beings, you judge me. And God said, okay, do not mess with my prophets. This is why we as Muslims believe that the prophets, every single prophet from the beginning of time, they're protected by God. The devil cannot go up to them. The devil cannot influence them or talk to them or anything. So that's why the story about how Satan went up to Jesus in the Bible, I don't believe that that's even possible, because Jesus is protected. He's protected from sin. He's protected from the devil. How the devil walk up to him? He's protected from. But you're talking about Jesus. You're talking about someone who's directly connected to God. Someone who's getting revelation from God. The devil just walks up to him, and tries to tempt him. Some of these things, they just don't add up. These things don't add up in my head or to me. Now, the rest of the propaganda at the bottom, and when you kind of slipped in the Islam is coming into the black community, like, I use Islam in the black community. Again, the black community is already destructive enough if we're talking about, like, the ghettos, right? And I know this. I'm going to speak on this because I'm from Detroit, Michigan, okay? So I'm from one of the most poverty-stricken areas on the planet. Not the country, the planet. And you want to talk about black impoverished areas? That's one of the highest and biggest ones. Me, as an Arab, I understand and I've seen it, okay? I understand how it works, right? And in Michigan, especially in Detroit, there is the largest Muslim community outside the Middle East in Dearborn, Michigan. So it is very, very prominent that when someone in the black community is raised and goes to church every Sunday with their grandma, and all their friends are gangbanging, and the girls in high school are getting pregnant at 14, and people are doing drugs, and there's crackheads on the street, and their friends are getting shot, and they're all Christian, they all, like, went to church, and they're all, like, and you look 4 miles down the street and you see the Muslim kids not shooting each other and not doing those things. You wonder why. You wonder how. I want that. You get what I'm saying? I want that in my own community. I want that for my family. I want that for my brother. You know what I'm saying? So what you do is you figure out how. Why are they doing that? What sets them apart? Oh, they're Muslim. They're Muslims. So you really do have to understand, bro, that when you get put in a situation like you living in the hood and you're trying to make it out, and everyone around you is a pretend Christian, and the religion's not doing anything for you, and Jesus it's an illusion to you. You've learned a distorted version of God's message, and you see Muslim people, and you see Islam, and you see its strict rules and guidelines, right? You want to be a part of it. You want that. You want out. So to think that Islam is like the devil's plan to get the black community to go to hell, it's a little crazy. If you like to sit down, Mr. Ivan the Evangelicus, and talk about it, I'm more than happy to talk about this. I know this video is 5 years ago. I don't know if you're going to see this. I don't know if you'll ever react to this. It's a 35-minute YouTube video of mine. This is one of the longest ones I did. But I really, really enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed, like, the content structure of it. I really enjoyed how he sat down with the devil and literally interviewed him. It was a really cool concept. Now, painting pictures of the devil, seeing him, things like this, it might creep some of you out. It might set you off or put you off. But like I said, I'm not no saint. I'm not going to be the guy who's like, I'm a priest. I'm not going to show the devil's face. I'm going to show you the devil's face. And the reason I'm going to show you the devil's face is to show you why or who or what the devil is and to stay away from him. It's not to expose you to him and to promote him and to advertise it and to do any of these things. So I really, really, really hope you guys took something out of this video. I really, really, really hope that Mr. Evangelical Ivan here can over time learn some more about Islam. It's been 5 years since, so hopefully he has. Hopefully information and knowledge has reached him, because he seems like a very, very genuine person. He seems like he's trying to reach out to the world and get people interconnected with their creator. And I do really, really appreciate that. And God really, really appreciates that. And he will reward you for that, Mr. Ivan. Now, I don't know what has been going on for the last 5 years, but if you're praying to God and you're asking God for guidance and knowledge, I hope that he has given it to you. And I hope that you have more of an understanding on your viewpoints here. Thank you guys so much for coming in today. Thank you guys so much for leaving your likes, leaving your comments, and still sticking with me. I know a lot of you are still here. It's been months and months and months, and you guys still come in, you still watch my videos, and you still enjoy. Thank you so much for coming in. I more than appreciate it. You do not even understand. There's some days where I don't even want to make a video, but I literally think about the couple people that come back in here and engage and talk and really make this somewhat of a community and actually learn things and help me learn things. And I realized, no, you need to do it, because guess what? Even if you don't want to do it, you're building this community, and it's beautiful. God is blessing you with something. God is giving you knowledge, share it. God is giving you opportunity, share it. God is giving you free time, utilize it. So thank you guys so much for coming in today. I love you all. I cannot wait to grow and do bigger, better things. I cannot wait to expose these industries and these people, including Satan, and in the light. I'm going to do extensive research when it comes to these things. I'm going to go out into the world. I'm going to show you guys what this stuff is. I'm going to show you, I'm going to take you inside of the world. That is my plan. That is what I really pray and beg God that I can really do. Is thank you so much for giving me this knowledge. Thank you so much for blessing me with a platform. Now, let me take it to the highest level. Let me take it to Netflix level and counteract them. You get what I'm saying? I want to get up there. I want to make waves. I want to ripple the world. I want to take people into these topics and really break them down and show them. If Satan can do it, if this invisible piece of dirt entity can do it, I can do it. I'm better than you, Satan. I'm better than you, Shaitan. I can trick people into believing in God before you can trick people into believing you. In my opinion, that's what I believe. I believe that if I put out some type of exposing video showing all of the facts and all of the evidence of your deception, people will see that it is deception. And I will indeed wake up the minds of some people. And waking up the minds of some people is better than waking up the minds of no people. Thank you guys so much for coming in. I love you all. I've said goodbye 3 times so far. The video is 38 minutes. God bless you all. Peace in the Middle East and free Palestine. Bye-bye.